mic as well. I don't was one. Okay.
You are there?
No. What am I? I think more.
I think it was different.
A lovely Tuesday morning, still the 8th day in the month of August 2023, and welcome to Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, and of course on Periscope. It always sounds to me like a microscope where we zoom and get to zoom off and zoom out issues for discussion, and of course holistically look into different topical issues, bringing to the front burner topical issues and of course topics that are worth attending to, especially that has to do with the country and even sometimes outside the country, but have effect or fallout to the country. My name is Modupe Akinyosoye. Welcome to Periscope once again on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. And this morning, of course, part of the issues that have been trending and that is on the front burner of the administration, new administration, inaugurated administration, that of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, is that of the ministerial list, which the highest percentage of Nigerians have actually been waiting for. And to be recalled that August 27th, that was on Thursday, the Chief of Staff to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbagabiyamila, delivered a ministerial list to the Senate, and of course, Gbagabiyamila was led into the Red Chamber at exactly 1:19 p.m. to just give you details of how the submission started by the sergeant at arms after a point of order was raised by the Senate leader and senator representing Ekiti Central Senatorial District in person of Michael Bamidele Opeyemi. And Opeyemi raised orders 12 and 51 of Senate rules intimating senators of the executive communication from President Bola Tinubu. And of course, those who made the list to be screened and to be confirmed, the first list that was sent were Abubakar Momo, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama, Architect Dangiwa, Hanatu Musawa, Chief Uche Naji, Beta Edu, Doris Aniche, David Umayi, Yeson Wike, Mohammed Badaru, Nasir Erifai, Ekwerikwe Eko, Ikiru Onyejiocha, Olubumi Ojo, Stella Okotete, Alake Latif Fagbemi, Mohammed Idris, Edu Muhi, Wahid Adebayo, Ima Suleiman, Ibrahim, Ali Pate, Joseph Huasi, Abubakar Kiari, John Eno, and Sonny Abubakar Danlami. Of course, President Tinubu sent the first list he sent were comprised of 28 nominees, and of course later last week he also sent a nomination or nominees of 19 candidates, so to say, and of course reports now revealing that 45 out of the 48 ministerial nominees presented by President Bola Tinubu has been confirmed. Because of our time, we'll not be able to go through the names of the 45 nominees that were confirmed, but those who were denied confirmation yesterday over security report or pending security checks are in the immediate past governor of Kaduna State, that's Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the former deputy governor of Taraba State, Senator Abubakar Danladi, and Stella Okotete from Delta State, and the trio had petitioned against their nominations, but specifically Senate President Godswill Akpabio said the Senate did not clear them because of security reports that must be cleared. Now, so far so good with the confirmation of 45 nominees to be ministers, so to say, to the cabinet, to be added to the cabinet of President Muhammadu Buhari. We'll be assessing, the nominee, the selection, so to say, and of course the screening process, how the Senate actually. It has been, greeted with different reaction. The, screening pattern and screening process of a Senate, and of course the accusation of not adding portfolio to the selection and all of that. And of course, the 45 being confirmed, how competent are they, to take up responsibility that will be given to each of them? These and lots more is what we'll be looking into this morning, talking about the ministerial list of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, joining me in the studio will be no other person than my always ever, competent, so to say, seasoned journalist and of course analyst, political analyst right here, joining me in the studio to discuss this topic this morning. Person of Oluwafisayomi Ajibola. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. It is a beautiful Tuesday from this side.
All right. Of course, I'm sure that you have been following right from July 27 when President sent 28 nominee, the first list, and of course he later sent 19 nominee ministerial nominees. Let's start with your overview so far. What's your overview so far with the selection, so to say, and right to the point where the Senate has confirmed 45 ministerial nominees.
Okay, I want to look at the selection let's start from the presentation made first by the presidency, which was submitted by the CSO, Femi Begabia. And also the second one, another one that was submitted. I think that second one was about 19 names.
19, yes.
If I can remember, which was also submitted. The issue with the screening process is what we should be looking at.
Okay.
The names have been greeted with a whole lot of reactions from why is it that it is a reward of past governors. Because if you look at that list, we have over 8 past governors who have spent 8 years in their respective states. We have other technocrats. We even have a state which benefited about 3 slots. About 3 slots was given to that state. Let's not be too concerned about where they are coming from, but let's look at their competence.
Okay.
And how do we get to know what their competence is like? It is through the screening. The Constitution is right by giving the Senate the responsibility to be able to screen. However, what are they screening on? Names have been picked randomly and sent to them without a clear cut of what they are going to be or what they are going to be doing. Names have been sent to them that these are my ministerial nominees. Agreed. Why don't you put a portfolio to it and send it to them so that we will know if the person is versed in that area or not?
But okay, before we move to that competency and the screening, attaching portfolio to the selection, some analysts in some quarters will say, when you mentioned that we have almost 8 past governors in the selection, and we have people that are already served a couple of years in their various states and all of that, and these, of course, with the different argument that I've been coming with from different quarters. Some raise the issue of politics is a game of you have to be of experience, being technocrats. That understanding politics is that the president cannot go in search out of political parties. All right, okay. The president mentioned the politics around the political party, and of course. Talking about the political party, you have to talk about players in the political party. We have a couple of members of political party that they are not active, they are passive member, they are not even contributing, they are not giving their attention to the party, so to say, so that they could, play their role in politics. Now, you said some have been, some have served, for several years. But don't you think that politics is still around, it should be around experience, those that have been players, key players in the political scene?
That's not politics. Let me enlighten you about that.
Okay.
That's not politics. We can't have the same set of people governing us for years. There is a popular saying that the youth are leaders of tomorrow.
But who are the political players? Who are those that take it upon themselves to be in the front, page of political parties, active members of political parties? Because political parties make.
Let's start from this. There is a popular saying that youth are leaders of tomorrow. We have the same set of people governing us from 1960 to today. If a political party assumes position, the leadership position of either a state or a country, there are executives of that political party who have participated in the electionary process that got whoever it is, either the governor or the president, into power. Now, for governance, in a very, very senile climb, for governance, your choice of competence must not only be from your party.
Of course.
And must not only be from somebody who has been involved in politics. Everything is not politics. Do I need a politician to become a minister? No.
Okay, so
do I need a
how do these competent people come into the limelight for the government?
They antecedent
to unpick them.
Good. They can have been from another industry. Their track record elsewhere, not being partisan politics. See, they're in governance. Politics is different from governance. Don't let us mix it. For politics, you play the game. For governance, you rule. If we put politics into government, in Nigeria, we have pushed governance to the back side. We politicize every move. Every move. Yes, truly, you can't make your enemy to be in your cabinet. But that is lie. That is a big lie. In governance, if your enemy can be called and is the person that would deliver it, you can always give the person a chance. You see, in the past administration of the former President Muhammadu Buhari, there are some people who are from day one been against him, and he brought them closer to him to work with him.
Yeah, but in the ministerial nominees that were sent, we could see members of other political parties.
They were best friends. They were not. They are politicians like him. In Nigeria, we have two political parties. It's either APC or PDP. If somebody who is not here today is here the next morning, and leave political parties or political differences aside, when there are gatherings, social gatherings, who are they? They are friends. Because if you look at their track records, they've been together for years. Let's hear new names. Let's hear new people coming to do something we have not seen. You cannot be doing the same thing the same way over and over and expect different results. Some of these people have been governors of their state for 8 years and they have woefully performed in their states.
Good saying that. Talking about let's see new faces. How? Because when we have discussions like this, it is essential that we also, while criticizing, we also, get to make the government look at what they are not looking at. How do you think the government can, look into or pick faces that Nigerians are not being seen for many years? How do they fish out those faces, that new faces that are competent?
The Constitution allowed the president that after being sworn in, I think about 60 or 90 days,
yes,
before picking names of who to work, Now, are you prepared for governance? The day you obtain your form for expression of interest to become a president of the country, you should, is from that day, you should be looking at, if I become the president, who will do what? Now, your whole 60 days, before you can become a president or a governor, you must have been involved in corridors of power, whether as even a chairman of a local government, which makes you to understand that whether you like it or not, you would have identified this person is good, this person is good. You might not even share contact with them, you might not even know them from anywhere, but you must have seen their track records over time. People like that, you can always get who knows who that can identify him or pick him over.
And do you think that could be effectively achieved even with the distractions from the points that you want to vie for a particular position to when you get there, and you're even given the ultimatum of a particular days?
It is achievable.
Okay.
The constitution does not say you must bring all of them. The constitution says you must present. See, this screening, the president can afford to bring one person and say, give me another 60 days. At least I've fulfilled the constitution that I should present a list. And I've given you a list. But I told you it's not confirmed. Did even the president produce all ministers at once? No. They came in batches. So duration is not an excuse.
Okay, that being said about the selection, I don't want to talk for you, but it's obvious that you are not cool with the fact that we have similar faces that have been in power still in the ministerial.
Yes, but I'm looking forward to those who are relatively new in corridors of power. They are not new in their profession or in what they are good at, but they are new in corridor of power. But my fear for them, what are they good at? What portfolio would they be assigned?
Now, talking about what are they good at, because actually that has been a question that people have been asking, not attaching portfolio to each of the nominees. Now, for every person that was, thought of to be nominated, I feel that the person would have been in a particular field or have been known to be competent in a particular field, so to say. Don't you think that when the president was, thinking about, okay, for example, somebody that served Minister of State, Labor and Employment and is in the ministerial list, you wouldn't be thinking of giving him the portfolio of Minister of Health or Education?
We have seen it in Nigeria. We have seen a case where an engineer was named a Minister of Health in this country. So that is why I'm saying that we cannot assume in the past administration somebody was named a Minister of Niger Delta, another person was named a Minister for Niger Delta, and they are from
Minister of State, Niger Delta.
So now let's look at the basic requirement or the basic duty of that person. Meditating within the government and the people. Who is the best capacity to do that? A legal practitioner. Or somebody who understands our law very well. And the choice of Festus Keyamo could have said, oh, Tombo. But what about the choice of Akpabio? See.
And he was the Minister of Niger Delta.
Yeah, see.
Festus was State Niger Delta.
In our country, we cannot assume because I'm a medical doctor and my name appeared on that list that I will be given the position of a Ministry of Health. I can become the petroleum minister here in Nigeria if I'm ready to protect the interests of the people in governance. So that is why I said that if those names have come with their portfolio, we would have been able to say, oh, he will deliver. No, he will not deliver. That I'm versatile as a media practitioner does not make me a good mechanic. That understands how car works does not make me a good mechanic, because I might not be able to lose and tighten roads very well. So we should be coming with names of what would they do. He has been a governor for 8 years. You're making him this as a governor. He oversees all ministry, over 20 ministry under him as a state governor. If you are bringing such person to become a labor minister, ordinarily you assume the person will perform. But we have seen the case of the past administration, where this man, I've forgotten his name, who was a governor before, was the one mediating between the government and the labor, uttered statements that should not even be coming from an elder statesman like him with the labor. He was even one of the first who moved the motion of no work, no pay. Ordinarily, we will have assumed because of being a governor for 8 years, he should know how to manage, massage people's ego and manage people to get the best, that all parties, it should be a win-win relationship.
Okay, let's talk about the screening process.
Okay. So
far, I've actually not seen all the videos of each of, or all of them, but with reports and, of the screening process, of how they have screened, most of them, and of course confirmed 45 of the nominees. Some have actually been, everything will come with reaction by Nigerians. And so people have reacted, for and against the screening process. Okay. Some would say that the Senate has been doing the way it has been, just screening or asking questions that are not relevant to what they are supposed to, or what they will be doing, the duty they are supposed to be given in office. What's your take? In the case of asking a nominee to recite the national anthem.
It is shameful.
Or
it is shameful. The process is shameful. On a few instances, you will think they are getting it right, but immediately you are trying to clap for them, they will do things that will make you to do shame at them. You asked somebody to come and show the world if truly you are suitable.
Capable.
Yes, you're suitable, you're capable for this, to be a minister of Nigeria, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And you look at the person's credentials. Born in 1980, finished secondary school in between 6 years of the day being born and everything. When that thing came into the media, people reacted. Some people said, oh, they started making jest of him, he must be a genius, this and that. After it happened, as the person had been passed, somebody also came, Bolaji Tunji or something like that.
Bosun
Tijani rather. Okay. Bosun Tijani, who has gone on the social media to say a whole lot of negatives about the government. And now, it is the point of him to eat from the government. And he tendered apology.
Out of anger. We'll come back to that.
Let me talk about the process. Let me talk a little bit about the process.
Okay.
And the person said, I'm sorry. Yes, to err is human.
To forgive is divine.
To forgive is divine. We can forgive him. But that government should be careful. That the day a bill or a process that must not favor him is being passed, he will quickly run to the social media and abuse his father and everybody involved. Also, how would an able-bodied man appear before you for screening, and the only thing you would say, recite the national anthem, take a bow, and go? Is it not shameful for you to ask a secondary school holder to recite the national anthem? Is it not even too big for that? We were taught this thing from primary school, isn't it? So are you expecting a man of over 40 years? Over 40. There was even one funny incident where the man was not even allowed to recite the national anthem because the crowd was murmuring, talking while he was doing it. And eventually, we didn't know even if he knows it or not. Because they all laughed and told him to take a bow and go. When Festus Keyamo appeared, somebody raised the issue that you are the one that was summoned to this same assembly. You turned it down. Now, what? They could not drag that matter for long. Because the sitting president, Senate president, was also summoned at the point, which he did not appear for. So, when we governance, when you throw stones, be careful that when you throw stones, that the time will come that stone you are throwing will hit somebody very close to you in your house or a place very close to your house.
All right, we'll be back for more discussion after this short break. We're still discussing the ministerial list, confirmation of the nominees that were sent by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Still Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Stay with us.
Have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9, Tausaf Central Mall, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour. Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case. Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how you process and secure.
Wà láfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó pàgbàmù ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zayana. House of Zayana, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zayana, let's mọ̀ Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai. Àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi àtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fawọ́ original ṣe. Àwọn aago kájọ́ tó ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́. Designer sunglasses and perfumes pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tó fi ń gbafẹ́ ló gbà. Mo débẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámi èmi ni ó rà èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ gbòógì gbọ́ntàn tẹ wá nílò jàlábíà hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zayana ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House of Zayana wà ní Fishogo Road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish Ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Lórí Instagram Zayana 08165688618. House of Zayana, ilé ìtajà tá aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
This is still Periscope on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, and we're having a discussion holistically looking into the ministerial list and of course the 45 nominees confirmed from the ministerial nominees that were sent by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and of course their competent level or status, and of course different reactions that have been greeted with the ministerial list and all that has to do with it. And I still have with me Oluwafisayomi Ajibola, a seasoned journalist and of course a political analyst. Now back to the screening process. Senator Abdul Fatai Buhari, representing Oyo North Senatorial District, on Saturday, he tackled, which he actually mentioned, I want to take us back to it, tackled the ministerial nominee Bosun Tijani about a controversial tweet, he made over 4 years ago. And, while the lawmaker quizzed Tijani, one of the 48 ministerial nominees of President Bola Tinubu, who, when he appeared before the Senate for screening, and of course, on the 21st of July 2019, specifically, Dr. Bosun tweeted against Nigeria, and it does not appreciate the Nigerian passport or Nigeria as a nation. And your senator said after 46-year-old Tijani, an information technological expert, read his profile to the lawmakers. And, responding to that, addressing the Senate, Tijani said he is very passionate about Nigeria and is committed to the country's development. The nominee, Tijani, also said he tweeted as a result of frustration experience, he had with the Chinese embassy. So he said he tweeted in anger, and the ministerial nominee said, from Ogun State. Now, also the case of Keyamo, which was the last to be screened during the confirmation of the 48. Now, it was accused actually that was raised by a member. Okay, I'm trying to get the details of that. Unwokocha raised that. Okay, Darlington, yes, Darlington Unwokocha. I don't want to quote out of context. Okay, so earlier Unwokocha moved a motion for Darlington Unwokocha for suspension of Keyamo's ministerial screening, and of course the senator argued that during the Buhari administration, Keyamo was invited to explain a special public works program and did not honor the invitation. But responding to the issues that had resulted in the summons, the lawyer stated that every single payment of the beneficiaries under the public works program was paid directly from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to the beneficiary. He just explained, what happened and all of that when it was summoned. But then I think about 52 billion naira that was, was asked to, account for, so to say, during Buhari administration. Now, you earlier mentioned that those things are the things that, the Senate, via the screening, should look out or watch out for. But some people had, argued that, of course, they could, every citizen have their right to express, whatever it is, especially that the case of the Tijani, tweeting a particular case and he mentioned that when he was experiencing a particular situation, at that particular time was why he tweeted it at that time. So do you still see it as, number one, do you give a thumbs up to the Senate for bringing out those issues while screening? And secondly, do they matter in their competence? Do they affect their level of competence in delivering whatever duty or responsibility that they've been given, or they will be given to, or they will be given to them after the confirmation?
It does matter. It does matter. As human, naturally in life, a time will come that you would be either angry, frustrated. The way you manage that downtime of yours is what will make us to see if you're responsible or you are an adult. Some people are 80 years old, but they are not adults. They are babies.
Why do you say that?
Because of the way they manage their downtime.
You mean maturity?
Maturity, yes.
Okay.
Now, managerial position. You are going to be given the position as a minister who reports directly to the presidency. As a minister, there's going to be several portfolios under your ministry. And under that ministry, there are some who are going to be older than you, who can either exasperate you or get you angry over issues. I've once been with the commissioner of police who has a female information public relation officer. And he said, I don't want to be angry with her because she's a woman. I will get a woman who is of a higher rank to be relating more with her. That man could have been not comfortable with something and yell at her. But what, you know what, where it will go? Why are you yelling at the woman? And the man wants to show how much mature he is, and he went that route. Now, let's come to Osotijani. Osotijani is an IT person, a 46-year-old young man. And he knows that his name has been selected. He's been nominated to appear before the Senate. Any smart, right-thinking adult will go and clean up such negatives from the internet.
He did that even around 2019, a week after the tweet.
You know, he left it until it wasn't during election. Before this election, when he started participating in the
this present administration, present election.
This last election, he was twilight to that election when he knows that he's going to be playing a very, very major role in the IT department.
Well, I haven't verified that because according to some report, it said he deleted it a week after.
He said that was what he said.
No, I mean reports.
Well, when he was queried, as at that time, I followed him on social media, Twitter specifically. Well, we call it X now.
Yes, the X app.
So he can't say that he deleted it a week after. No.
Whatever the case,
do you throw the baby away with the bathwater?
But whatever the case may be, you know, the fact that he said or he showed anger about his nation does not make him less a Nigerian.
You know,
and does not show that the next day you could still be proud of the country.
The truth is this, and I want us to bury his case.
You know that is different from Kenyamo's case.
I don't want to dwell on his case.
Okay.
And I want to. My last statement on him is.
Okay.
Mark today. Before this administration will finish its first term, if he's going to a second term, he will repeat the same thing. End of quote.
But okay, let me.
No, I don't want to talk about. No. Let's talk about Osotijani. I have to just conclude it. His case. Let's wait and see if we will not repeat the same thing with this government.
I just want to ask a question directly. I mean, this is general, not basically about that. Just bringing out of what happened. So, are you saying that as a Nigerian, we cannot express our grievance against something that is happening in the country when we are being frustrated at that point, or maybe on social media or whatever it is?
If you have listened to me from the beginning of this conversation to date, and if you are taking track record of who I am, I criticize constructively, and I leave the human gap of you, so that whatever you're doing, that human part, that imperfect part of you will be indulged. But when an act is deliberate and is consistent, it is no longer a mistake, but who you are that you've chosen to be.
Okay.
If you have issues,
you say he has been towing that part of.
If you have issues, check Reno. Reno Mokiri will talk. When the government is on his side, he will spill it. When it's against, he will spill it. I have my reservations about him also too, but it's just like many activists we have in this country. Their mindset most times is tilted towards the paymaster. So most times they will not want to come out and do something against their paymaster. It is no crime for me as a Nigerian to feel bad about a particular situation that affects my country and come out to constructively criticize that movement, but not that person. I might not be your friend, or I might even be your friend, but I have issues we might have issue-based differences. But as a person, you are my friend. So in our country, Nigeria, if we act like the way an average American would do, and we wake up and say, God bless America, you will know that your country must be dear to your heart. Now, if that country regardless, if that country now gets at you negatively, the way it's getting at most Nigerians,
okay,
you don't fight the country. You fight the issue, the mechanism that is not making your country to be proud.
Okay.
So that is the issue where I have. And people who have that trend, who will go all out immediately to dress their country, watch out for it. You cannot take it away from them. It will be repeated soon.
So that has affected his competency.
Well, it is a factor.
Okay.
A factor in the sense that if you want to do contribution and the person coordinating the contribution does not have a track record of stealing somebody's money, but has a record of borrowing and not repaying, you have to be very careful. Yes, he has not stolen money. You've not heard that he has stolen money. But if he borrows and not refunded, know that it's a big problem. Because why you have not heard that he has stolen his money is because he has not been opportuned to be at the disposal or at the point where he can easily steal. But if you put your contribution money into his care, he will assume in his mind that I have borrowed it and you won't get it back. So, competency.
Okay.
If you think what he has done will affect his competency, I will not say 100%.
Okay.
But it's going to be a factor with people he will be working with. And if he's not able to manage it very well, people who he's working with will frustrate, even if he's putting his 100% into it. And to every other Nigerians who will be seeing it outside, you will see that ministry not performing right.
Would you also say something similar to the case of Kiyamo? You know, not being accountable when you were summoned.
The case of Kiyamo, I have
come
issues.
and account for something.
I have issues with the case of Kiyamo. One, somebody was removed, and his name was given out. Well, his name was added. This person served in the past administration. When the case of 8,000 naira by the government was released to be used for, the government came with the idea of, okay, let's do 8,000 naira and share it around. He was one of those people who kicked against it. The government withdrew it and looked for other means to give Nigerians palliative. Now, are you telling me that in that capacity, whichever capacity you want to use Festus Keyamo, he is the only competent Nigerian? Now, don't forget, he served with the last administration. Can we give new set of people the opportunity to try out something different? The renewed mantra from this dispensation, my intention is that we want to look at those people who have not been given opportunity. We have been told severally that we have brains, brilliant set of people in Nigeria. Where are they? Where are they?
Okay, because of our time, let's run this up. Of course, the conversation continues. You can always drop your comments, your view, and your reservations, your submission on the issue just at the comment section. But quickly, just in few words, we talk about cutting down governors, talk about, merging, especially the Oronsoye report, talking about merging ministries, parastatals, and agencies. But the way the last administration had almost 44 ministries rather, and with the way 45 had been confirmed and approved, we don't know if more will be still approved or confirmed.
There is likelihood of getting more.
And even reports that more ministries will be added and will be created.
Yes.
And we are talking about cutting down costs, cutting down governance, merging some, ministries or merging some parastatals. Don't you see that as, driving overboard and, giving, expanding what we are not supposed to expand?
Well, that's a big conversation that is going to take another 1 hour. It's not something I can summarize in few words. But what I would just say is, it's still business as usual for those in government. And if we still have it as business as usual, there is not going to be any difference from what we've been experiencing in this country with what we experience now. 3 persons were not screened, were not approved by the Senate.
Erufai,
one Oketete, and one Danladi, one from somebody from the north. The reason they said they're using the security check on them.
Check.
Good. These 3 that you claim you're doing 3 security check on, are you telling me that the other 45, if you look at them from the security angle, you're looking at these 3, they are so clean? Great if they are. Are they ready to serve? You are creating more ministries. You are adding more. We are going to be having minister for state, minister for this. We are going to be having it. If we are going to do that, don't forget that, was it not last week that somebody said that the take-home of the members of the National Assembly is too small to take care of their constituency? And we are talking about reducing governance. So if that continues to happen, there is not going to be any change. If it's business as usual, and those who are close to government will continue to eat fat, and those who are far to the government will continue to suffer and be getting the brunt of the errors from those leaders that we are getting now.
All right, from there we have to call it a day on Periscope, on Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. Thank you so much. Definitely you can always drop your comment, what you think, your submission, your opinion concerning the discussion and the topic we discussed this morning. And of course, we are the ones that would say that when we want a different result, and definitely we should be taking different route, different steps that we have been taking to get a different result. I remain Modupe Akinyosoye. Do not forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.